So I hope the screen is visible and the voice is audible. If yes, so just put a message in the chat box so that we can begin with the class. So do it fast. Okay, fine. So in the previous class, we have discussed about BJT fabrication, right? So there we have discussed how a transistor can be constructed using fabrication process and which are the steps are taken to construct or to fabricate the NPN or PNP transistor. So first thing we have went through the normal procedure. Then we have discussed all these 5 figures, figure A to figure E, and we have discussed how the fabrication process is carried out. So after this, now we'll move on to the next topic. The next topic is base narrowing of a transistor. Okay, so now in this topic, we are going to discuss what is the role of base, okay, in a transistor and what happens when the base gets narrow. So narrow is nothing but here the reduce in the base width, okay. So that is what we are going to discuss. What is base narrowing of a transistor? Very simple concept, okay. Now look at this figure A. So as shown in figure A, so what it consists of? So it consists of one P plus, then one N, and another P is there. Okay. Now I can call it as PNP transistor, where P plus indicates that here P region has been heavily doped, or you can say that the complete PNP transistor is heavily doped. Okay, so if P plus indicates that heavily doped region. So now, so in this figure A, okay, so here we have shown WB. So WB is nothing but here this is the width of the base. Okay, WB is nothing but what? Width of the base. So now in this concept, we are going to discuss what is the role of base. Okay, what is the role of base, and another important thing, how the base will get reduced. So that is what we are going to discuss in this topic. Okay, so now first thing, here we will assume that thus this PNP transistor operates in an active region. Okay, what I'm saying? I'm saying that this is a PNP transistor. Now we will assume that it will operate in active region. Then we will check what happens to the junction? These are two junctions here. First, we will check what happens to the junction if it is in active region, and what happens if the voltage across the junction is increased. So this is what we are going to discuss and how it affects to the base of the transistor. So now first thing, now what I'm going to do to understand the base narrowing of a transistor. So first thing, so this is what I call it as emitter. Okay, I call this as emitter terminal. This I call it as collector terminal, and this is the thing but base terminal. Okay, so emitter, collector, and base. So now I can say that this is a common base configuration. So now in this configuration, if I assume that it operates in active region, okay. So if this operates in active region, then I can say that emitter to base will be forward biased, right? And collector to base, this will be what? Reverse biased. So this is what happens when we operate this in active region, okay. So now, what is the role of base in this condition? Now what I will assume that here, if collector to base is reverse biased, means now here the width of this region or the width of this depletion layer will be larger comparing this the width of this junction, okay, because it is forward biased. Therefore here the width of this PN junction between emitter to base is less, whereas the width of between this collector to base will be a little bit larger because it is reverse biased. So now what I will do, we will assume that the condition when the reverse bias voltage, that is between the collector and base, I call it as VCB. So when the collector to base voltage, that is VCB, is increased, because here this is the reverse voltage which is applied between the collector to base. If I apply the reverse bias voltage and increased, then automatically here the depletion layer across this junction will start increases. When the depletion layer start increases, nothing but here the immovable ions across P and N here, across here the immovable ions will start accumulating across this region, and the width of the depletion layer increases. So thereby I can say that here WB, that is the width of the base, will start get decreases. This is because that space of the N region, this is our N region, the space of the N region now accumulated by the immovable ions across this junction. So due to this, we can say that here the width of the base starts reducing as the collector to base voltage starts increases. Okay, so this is nothing but we can say that base narrowing or base width modulation. It is also called as early effect. Okay, so I hope you guys understood this. So what I said, if I assume that it has three terminals, it is operating in active region. Okay, active region means this part is forward biased, this part is reverse biased. When this part is reverse biased, then what happens? This junction here, the depletion layer of this junction will increase. So thereby the width WB of the base, which is nothing but N type, will start reducing because the depletion layer across this junction will start increasing. That is nothing but here the immovable ions starts accumulating, thereby the width of the base, that is N type, starts narrowing. Okay, so we call it as base narrowing or base width modulation, or also called as early effect. So now what happens when the base gets narrow? Okay, when the base gets narrow here, when the base gets narrow, the current gain beta, I hope you guys know the beta, which is nothing but what? IC by IB. Okay, when the base gets narrow, here the beta starts increasing because of the narrow base. When the current again starts increases, this increases because the base current IB starts reducing. When the base is reducing, the collector current directly depends on beta. Nothing but the collector current also increases. Okay, this is what happens when the base get narrows. So I will repeat the same thing. What happens here? When the base gets narrow, okay, beta is the current gain. That will also increases. When the beta is increases, the collector current IC also increases because IC is directly proportional to beta into IB. So therefore, you can say that the collector current also increases. Okay. Now using this condition, okay. So now, if the collector current increases, so that is the shown in figure B here. Now look at the figure B here. So here, this is nothing but this part of this PNP transistor is nothing but the total width of the depletion layer, okay, which is accumulated towards the N type, okay, where L is the layer or the width of the depletion layer occurred due to the accumulation of immovable ions when the voltage between collector and base is increased, which is nothing but reverse bias here. So this L, or you can say as capital L or small l. You can use any one L here. Both are same. So here this L represents the length of the depletion layer, which is accumulated into the base of PNP transistor due to increase in the VCB, that is reverse bias voltage. So therefore, from this we can say that this length L is directly proportional to the VCB. Okay. So here VCB is nothing but reverse bias voltage between the collector and base. Here we have taken the square root just to represent that this voltage belongs to the reverse bias voltage. So that's why I have taken square root here. So that is what I'm going to show here in the next page, which is written here. Okay. So in the next page, it is written like this. Here, the length L of this figure B, which is depends on the VCB, that is the reverse bias voltage between the collector and base. Square root represents this voltage in reverse bias condition. So L is directly proportional to this voltage. If this voltage increases, the length of the depletion layer increases. If you go on increasing the reverse bias voltage for a particular value, this collector terminal will go and touch the emitter terminal, and then this PNP transistor so lose its characteristics and gets damaged. So you have to take care of that L, which can make to connect directly from collector to emitter and making the base, that is N type, to very narrow. Okay. So now here it is shown the length L is directly proportional to the square root of VCB. If I remove this proportionality constant, we can write L equals to 2 epsilon by Q and D into VCB raised to 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is nothing but here square root. So here 2 epsilon by Q and D. So this is directly taken as a proportionality constant, where Q is the charge stored in the depletion region. So this is the depletion region where which is accumulated by the immovable ions. That will be the charge Q here. Now ND is nothing but drift in the N region. Means here when the depletion layer increases, there will be drift in the base. Okay, means the N will start reducing. That is nothing but drift in the N region. Epsilon is nothing but dielectric constant. This is a constant between the Pn and P type. So like this, we can say that here the base narrowing of transistor is nothing but this will be affect the collector current. Thereby, if the base gets much narrower, then the transistor will lose its VI characteristics, which is also shown here in the VI characteristics. So in this characteristics, first we have shown a normal operation of the transistor, which is shown here. This is about normal operation of the transistor in active region. As the base current increases, the collector current increases exponentially. But when this voltage increased, okay, minus VCE is nothing but what here? Both are same here. VCV is nothing but VCB. Minus sign indicates it is reverse bias. When this voltage increased to a particular value, okay, or towards negative value at this side, nothing but minus VCB. When this increases, okay, the collector current still increases. Thereby, here the collector current may damage the width of the or the base of the transistor. Thereby, it loses its VI characteristics. So we call it as punch through effect. Nothing but once the transistor loses its characteristics due to increase in the collector current when the VCB voltage increased beyond the limit. Okay, we call that is nothing but punch through effect when the transistor gets damaged due to increase in the VCB. Okay, this VA is the new voltage of VCB where the collector current increases. So this is about the base narrowing of a transistor. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone, which is very simple. Only taken two conditions. One, it is operating in active region. Second, when the collector to base is reverse biased, and when it is increased beyond the limit, the width of the depletion, sorry, the width of the base starts reducing and gets narrow because of the width of this depletion region across this junction will increase. Okay, when we increase the reverse voltage VCB to a larger value, then it loses its characteristics and the diode, so the transistor gets damaged. Okay, so that is nothing but here L is represents the length of the depletion layer and which is given by this equation. Okay, so if L is increased to a much value, it loses its characteristics. So this is about base narrowing of a transistor. So if it is clear for everyone, put yes. If you want to repeat again, I will repeat the same thing. Do it fast. So I'm expecting everyone to respond in the chat box. If you have any doubts, because it is very simple concept, just increase the reverse voltage, width of the base will start reducing. Thereby it loses its characteristics. That's it. Everyone should respond in the chat box. Okay, so I hope everyone responded in the chat box. So now we will move on to the last topic of this module 2, sorry, module 3, that is avalanche breakdown in the transistor. Okay, so now we will start with the last topic of module 3, that is avalanche breakdown in transistor. So I hope you guys already know about the avalanche breakdown in a diode, because we already discussed this topic in diode. So what is this avalanche breakdown in transistor? So avalanche breakdown is nothing but the first thing, it is always used in a reverse bias condition. Okay, it is also we call this as breakdown condition. Okay, now what I will do, we'll assume that what happens when the transistor operates in reverse bias condition. The same thing which I discussed in the previous topic. Here if I taken the collector base junction. So this is our NPN or PNP transistor. It has three regions like this. So this is N, this is P, this is N. Okay, this is nothing but collector, and this is nothing but base. Now, where this avalanche breakdown happens, it will always appear in between collector and base, because only these two terminals are operated under reverse bias condition when this transistor is in active region. So now, using this condition, we are going to discuss this topic. We have to assume that we have taken one NPN transistor, where this NPN transistor is operating in active region, and the collector to base junction is reverse biased. Now, under such condition, so what happens? So if I increase the reverse voltage between the collector and base, okay, thereby the velocity of minority charge carriers, the velocity of minority charge carriers, nothing but in N type, the minority charge carriers are holes. In P type, the minority charge carriers are electrons. Okay, so now here, when this reverse bias voltage is increased to a particular value, then the velocity of minority carriers gets increases, means holes in N type, electrons in P type starts increases. So here, when they increase, the kinetic energy, what I'm saying, the kinetic energy associated with these minority charge carriers, okay, generates more number of minority charge carriers. Okay, so now how these minority charge carriers generates more number of minority charge carriers? Because here, when there is a collision, because let us assume that this is one stable atom which has both plus and minus. So this is our one stable atom. Okay. When there are more number of minority charge carriers across this, so and there is a kinetic energy associated with this, means velocity. They will collide with each other, and this stable atom will get collide with these two minority charge carriers and produces few more minority charge carriers, means another minus, another plus will be generated under reverse bias condition. Okay, so like this collision makes more number of free electrons or free holes, okay, by breaking this covalent bond between the stable atom. Okay, so now when such increase in the minority charge carriers, okay, generates more number of minority carriers, we call this as carrier generation, also known as carrier multiplication, which is denoted by M. Okay, so now M is used, which is nothing but the multiplication of minority charge carriers, which are increased due to increase in the reverse bias voltage. Okay, now what is avalanche breakdown in transistor? So avalanche breakdown in transistor is nothing but the carrier generation in reverse breakdown region causes a large current flows through the transistor. Such effect is known as avalanche effect, and mechanism is nothing but, okay, avalanche breakdown in transistor. Okay, so when a large current flows through this transistor from collector to base, okay, under reverse bias condition, this large current is nothing but avalanche effect, and the mechanism is nothing but avalanche breakdown in transistor. Breakdown means nothing but this depletion layer will get damaged, and the characteristics of the transistor will get loose. Or you can say that in other words, the transistor gets damaged. So this is nothing but avalanche breakdown in transistor. So now we will discuss this in terms of equations. So how it affects in terms of equations, that we are going to discuss now. I hope it is clear for everyone. Only simple concept. When collector to base junction, the voltage across that is increased. That will increase the minority charge carriers. Those minority charge carriers collides with a stable atom, generates more number of minority charge carriers. Okay, when more number of minority charge carriers are increased, we call it as carrier multiplication, which is denoted by capital M. The process where the large current flows through the transistor. Under such condition, we call it as avalanche effect, and the mechanism is nothing but avalanche breakdown in transistor. Now the same thing we are going to discuss in terms of equations. So first thing what I will do, so let us consider a common base configuration. So nothing but we are considering this configuration. This is nothing but common base. So in common base configuration, where the current transfer ratio in normal active mode is given by, so alpha n equals to IC by I, because for common base configuration, so IE is the input, IC is the output, and current transfer ratio is nothing but output by input current. So output current is IC, input current I. So alpha n represents normal active mode of a common base configuration, which is taken as equation 1. Now equation 1 can be rewritten as IC equals to, so multiply this I to the alpha n, we will get alpha n into IE plus ICO. So here in this equation 1, ICO is neglected because it is reverse saturation current. Comparing this value, the reverse saturation current is very small and it is neglected. But now here we are discussing this topic based on reverse condition. So that's why we have to consider this current now, because this current becomes large when reverse voltage is increased. So therefore, now we can say that the collector current not only depends on alpha n into IE, but also ICO, reverse saturation current. Okay. Now, assuming the transistor operates in reverse breakdown condition, where the carrier multiplication takes place. So nothing but when more number of charge carriers are generated due to increase in the reverse saturation voltage, then this complete equation is depends on the minority charge carriers, now called as carrier multiplication, which is denoted by M. So that's why it is written as, now the collector current completely depends on alpha n into I plus ICO into M. M is nothing but the number of minority charge carriers generated by collision of stable atom. Okay, so now I need collector current in terms of these two, that is reverse saturation current and carrier multiplication. So again, under breakdown condition, the base current is almost equals to what? 0, because when the breakdown occurs, the base current IB reduces to 0. Why it reduces to 0? The same thing we have discussed in base narrowing of the transistor here. So when this base narrowing occurs because of the reverse bias voltage increased. When the reverse voltage increases, here the depletion layer reaches to the emitter current, emitter terminal. Thereby, here the width of the base will narrow and the base current will reduce. So here we'll assume that that kind of base current has been reduced and reaches to 0. So therefore, we know that the emitter current IE is equals to IC plus IB. This is a normal current equation. Okay. So now based on this, we can say that if IB is 0, we get it as IE equals to what? IC. Now, what happens to the equation 3 if I write if I replaced by IC? What we will get? IC equals to alpha n into IC, because IC is nothing but I is nothing but what? IC. So this IE, okay, this IE is replaced by IC now plus ICO into M. Now, what I need is IC only. So multiply this M into this equation, we will get this. So now rearrange this equation to get IC terms at one side. So here this term is moved to the LHS side. We'll get IC minus alpha n into ICM equals to ICO. ICO is nothing but reverse saturation current into M if I multiply into this equation. So in this term, IC is common. So take IC as common. We'll get 1 minus alpha n into M equals to ICO into M. So therefore, what I need is IC. So IC equals to ICO into M divided by 1 minus alpha N into M. So from equation 4, it is clear that under breakdown condition, the collector current IC is directly depends on reverse saturation current and carrier multiplication. Okay, this is what we need to prove in terms of equation. Okay, so that's why once the transistor operates in active region, we should take care of reverse voltage. If the reverse voltage is increased beyond the limit, then the collector current completely depends on the reverse saturation current and carrier multiplication. Okay, so this is about avalanche breakdown in transistor in terms of theory, in terms of equations. Okay, so this completes your module 3 now. I hope it is clear for everyone because it is very simple concept. This is the same concept which I have discussed in diode equations. Means diode also discuss Zener effect and avalanche effect. So this term avalanche breakdown occurs only when the devices operates under reverse bias condition. Okay. So now I hope it is clear for everyone. If yes, put a message yes in the chat box. Okay. If you want to repeat, put repeat in the chat box so that we move on to the next. So okay, fine. So now this completes your model 3. Okay. In the next session, we'll start with the model 4, which is a little bit different. Okay. Now do one thing. Send your USN numbers so that we can take attendance. And in the next session, we will start with the model 4. Okay. Now start sending your USN numbers as an attendance. Do it first. So everyone should respond in the chat box. So only your attendance will be taken. Do it fast. Okay, so in the next session, we will start with module 4. In that, the topic is field effect transistors. Okay, so this is field effect transistor. I think you guys already discussed this in basic electronics also. So field effect transistors includes JFET and MOSFET. First, we'll discuss the operation. So how JFETs are constructed and how it operates and how they are different from BJT, that is bipolar junction transistors. So this we will discuss in next session. Okay, in next session we'll start with the module 4. Okay, so now I hope everyone sent your attendance. We'll wind up the class and in next session we'll start with the module 4. Thank you for attending the class.